Here's the third game from Prep Test 42. It's an ordering game. We're asked to take 9 batches of cookies and order them across 5 different days. It's tricky because we have a lot more players than positions, and so we'll probably need to find some way of controlling that information. And it's also going to increase the difficulty level. So as we go through this game, our expectation should be this should be a little bit more complicated. We've got 3 different batches of oatmeal cookies, 3 different batches of peanut butter cookies, and 3 different batches of sugar cookies. And according to the first constraint, according to the first rule, we know that we can't have more than 1 batch of peanut butter cookies or more than 1 batch of oatmeal cookies made on any given day. And as such, it may actually make sense that as we go to set up our game board, that we'll track the oatmeal and the peanut butter and the sugar cookies in different rows. If we use a game board like this, now we can track oatmeal cookies in one row, peanut butter cookies in another, and sugar cookies in a last. And we can even put out our characters that we're going to order. Since we have 3 batches of oatmeal cookies, we can distinguish the first batch from the second batch with subscripts. So if we ever have to place, like, let's say, the second batch of oatmeal cookies on Wednesday, we'll know that this O right here is the second batch, and that's going to help us as we go to figure out, well, that means we're going to need another oatmeal batch of cookies here on Monday and Tuesday, and another batch of oatmeal cookies here on Thursday and Friday. So tracking which batch is being made where should be helpful in terms of making future inferences. The second rule tells us that we have to have at least 1 batch of cookies made on Monday. We don't really know which batch is being made on Monday. For now, I'm just going to go ahead and below Monday remind myself that we need at least 1 here. The third rule tells us that the second batch of oatmeal cookies and the first batch of peanut butter cookies is made on the same day. And again, we don't know where, so we'll just notate this off to the side in a chunk. Finally, the last rule tells us that the second batch of sugar cookies is made on Thursday. This is the kind of rule that I really like. When we're given specific locations of certain characters, that's simplifying our task tremendously. So this is definitely a positive turn of events. And it does lead into a rather straightforward inference that the third batch of sugar cookies is going to be made here. To a large degree, that simplifies the game a lot. I mean, we've got 1 more batch of sugar cookies, but mostly at this point, we're just going to be ordering oatmeal and peanut butter cookies. Now that we have the game set up and the rules notated, we should probably pause to look for inferences or see if the game is limited in any way. So pause the recording, and I'd like you to see if there's any inferences that come to mind, or whether there's a fork in the road that the game will have to take, whether it's going to move in one direction or else another, and come back and hit the recording or restart the recording as soon as you're ready. One thing you may have noticed is that the chunk is limited to only 2 places in the game board. We can place it on Tuesday, but no sooner than Tuesday, because we still need to have room for the first batch of oatmeal cookies. We can place it on Wednesday, but no later than Wednesday, because we need to have room for the second and third batches of peanut butter cookies. So we can infer that the first batch of oatmeal cookies is going to be made on Monday in this top frame. We don't really know whether the third batch of oatmeal cookies is going to be made Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. It's difficult to say when that first batch of sugar cookies is going to be made, whether it's made on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. That second and third batch of peanut butter cookies, again, it's hard to say. The only other thing we can really figure out is that there's not going to be any peanut butter cookies being made on Monday. Let's just make sure to notate that by slashing off the peanut butter cookies on Monday. It'll help us prevent or count how many batches of cookies are being made on Monday, or help us prevent us from putting in another batch of peanut butter cookies in here. Down in the second frame, the second and the third batches of peanut butter cookies are going to have to come here. Additionally, we can infer that there's not going to be any peanut butter cookies being made on Monday and Tuesday. But it doesn't look like we can infer anything else. We're going to have at least 1 batch of cookies here being made on Monday. It's going to either be the oatmeal cookies or the sugar cookies. But there's no reason to suspect one over the other. It could be either way. At this point, it looks like we've found all the inferences that can be made from following out the chunk in both directions. Let's take on the questions.